Hello, this is Static Reviews, and every year we have some traditional Static Reviews that we typically do. One for every Sharknado movie, and another for every season of Netflix's dark comedy, Bojack Horseman. It's time for the Season 4 review, seeing that it just dropped last week. If you've missed out on the previous season reviews, check out the playlist on Static Reviews on the main channel page. You'll find them there, but I'll also link you with two of them in the end card. That is, if I can find them. See, the funny thing about Bojack Horseman is you would think it's a comedy through and through. And yes, there are comedic moments in the series, but as the last season proved, it can get very existential and very dark. If last season was tipping your toes into the dark pool, then season 4 is a full-on dive with getting your head forced in. The difficult thing about Bojack, at least for season 4, is unless you watch the events of season 3, you're going to be practically lost here. It's somewhat difficult, but in the end, it turns out alright. And okay. Sadly, though, season 4, however, goes dark, stays dark, and proves without a shadow of doubt that this show isn't afraid of the unhappy ending. The dark make you think soliloquy, the tragic. You see, Bojack Horseman starts out as a lighthearted spoof on Hollywood culture. What it has morphed into, however, is a tragedy. A tragedy about a family, a man, horse, and everyone and everything he touches, filled with so much hope, diving down a dark hole, never to return. And here's the worst part. He knows it. He knows that the mere interaction with him is trouble enough. But when you dive into his family, as this season does, and I'm trying my best not to spoil because it's some of the best binge watching you'll ever do on Netflix as a whole, let alone anything, you find out, well, that it isn't just him. It isn't just his family. It's even his friends too, once thought to be innocent characters, have their dark side without really having a dark side. The only character that even seems light-hearted at this point, with a bit of optimism or a bit of hope, is Todd, formerly the comic relief character of the show, which he still is very much so. Now, however, he has been replaced as the only hopeful thing. Even characters you were once supportive of, you can't really be and even the subplot that makes up the majority of Season 4, introducing a new character known as Hollyhock into the mix. That has a connection with Bojack that I won't spoil, but it's expertly kept in the dark for the entire season. Although there is one character in the entire series that is giving you the basic clue as to the reveal of the storyline. But if you treat it sorely as a joke, you will be sorely mistaken. Even though it's very subtly changed and animation styles are played with in a few episodes, the standout episode of this season belongs to Time's Arrow. It's the next to last episode of this current season, and it's an absolute must watch on an individual level, especially if you've kept up long term with Bojack. It's a saddening story. Everything about this season is sad, depressing, dark. Even though, at the end of it, it leaves some hope. But come on, at this point, that hope will probably be dashed next year when we do this again for Season 5. The writing is on point, as always, and gone is the social commentary, although there are a few social commentaries that are done really well as the usual things go. But this series, or this season rather, stays focused on the sub-characters more than the Bojack Horseman, who for the first couple episodes is not even in the picture. And even when he gets into the picture, the focus isn't so much on him. It's a stark contrast to the previous 3 seasons in which he was the center of attention, which even Bojack himself admits that he likes, with a bit of cruel irony. But even when not focused on him, the inner stories of everyone else, from Diane Wynn to Mr. Peanut Butter to even new characters like Governor Woodchuck Coodchuck Berkowitz and Princess Carolyn, and yes, even Todd. They're all interesting, if not all tragic, as they try to make something real in a fake, superficial, soulless town. In the end, you get the idea that everything they've made up and everything they are about as fake and soulless as the town they live in. It's tragic irony at its finest, and it runs deep. Oftentimes, comedy can be found in the worst of tragedies. Bojack Horseman is an example of this. For a reviewer like myself, it's hard to describe without spoiling. It's hard to get around it, especially considering what else we do on this channel. It's quite surprising that at this point I've done 4 of these. and possibly the darkest show that I've ever become a fan of. But when you have characters and themes, when you have subject matter and bouts of sadness as this show irreversibly does, even though you know you're going into a black hole of darkness, you go in feet first, curious to see how dark it can get. And at the end of Bojack Horseman Season 4, it's the darkest yet. And the worst part of it is, there's no dawn in sight. But that's what keeps the show excellent. That's what keeps the show above bar of other animated comedies. That's what keeps it among the best in just general TV. It's one of Netflix's brighter spots, and it shows once again. Everyone, every voice talent, every writer, every animator, everyone is on their A game, even more than before in the previous season. Gone might be the laughs, but the greatest joke is that some of us find all this tragedy around us funny. And, much like every mistake in Bojack's life, the truth and the punchline hurts. Well, this punchline doesn't hurt. If you haven't watched Bojack Horseman, do it. Dive into it. Binge it. And if you are a man of thought like myself, you will come out feeling a little different, knowing a little different, and seeing the world different. Not necessarily better, but no matter what your troubles are in the day, you will say, at least it's not better than these people. These people, for all their talent, and all their hopes, the reality that life sucks keeps getting in the way. This season doesn't. And like the season before, it gets a perfect score. A 10 out of 10. A must watch. And here I thought I couldn't do this review without spoiling anything. But that's how much and how good this show is. Until next time, find peace in your own nirvana. Thanks for watching.